Now you can see I've brought that back in really nice, keeping it nice and tight the whole way. So now, because I've moved everything back into the trellis, the peas are going to be much more inclined to grab onto trellis as opposed to the other plants. Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I'm out here early morning looking at my peas. And I thought I'd talk a little bit this morning about managing peas on a trellis, because I mean, you build a trellis and you think the peas are going to climb up it, and they do climb up it because they've got these little, you know, things, these thingies that grab onto stuff. But I have found over time they don't, it's not 100%. I mean, they're grabbing, you know, so I've got a trellis, it's just this wire remesh stuff, right? Attached to two posts. So the peas grab that wire remesh, but they also grab other pea plants. So every pea plant, you know, if every pea plant used these tendrils to grab the trellis, it would be fine. But they don't do that. They don't know they're supposed to do that. They can't talk, right? So they tend to grab each other. And they tend to, as the peas go up the trellis, they start coming away from the trellis. If you get a really good gust of wind, it's pretty windy where I live, you can have a, you know, a windstorm overnight, and you go out in the morning and the trellis is still up, but the peas are down. So I'm gonna show you how I do this, but you can see here where I'm trying to keep the shadows off. I got some just cheap jute twine, and I've sort of weaved it through, right? So I just bring it along and I poke it through and bring it around like that. So I'm basically every, you know, I don't know, every couple feet, every 40 centimeters, right? Every foot and a half, every foot or so, you basically add an extra piece of twine to sort of bring them back into the trellis. So I'm going to get a piece of, I'm going to basically set the camera up and show you how I do that. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to start here with some just cheap old dollar store jute twine. I got to go all the way down and all the way back, and that's about 10 feet long. So 1, 2, 3 handspans and maybe half a wingspan should do it. We'll see. Get rid of that. All right, so I'm just going to tie this on. Where's the last rope is here. I'm going to put it about a foot above it. Simple little slip knot there. Okay. I'll just bring this along, and when I get halfway across the trellis, I put it through to the other side. And then go to the other side. Where is it? Bring that along. Fix that a little bit, not as high as it's supposed to be. You're mussing up your plants a little bit here, but it's okay. I bring that to the end. Right. I find it's good here to put it around the pole once, just to snug it up. Right. I'm going to do the opposite thing from the other side. Right. I didn't give myself enough. Unbelievable. Where did I put that? Need a little more length here. Where's the end? Here we go. I just tie it on with a simple knot. All right. Now I can bring that back. Get it away for a second. Tighten that in really good. Yeah, it's better. Wrap that around a couple times. All right. And just tie her off with a couple, maintaining tension, but tie her off with a couple half hitches, like that. There, now you can see I've brought that back in really nice, right? Right, so it goes across. Oh, too much shadow. Here we go. Goes across, and it goes through here to the other side. Here from the other side, it just continues along. I put it around here twice just to maintain tension, right? And it goes back around through to the other side and back to the starting point, right? Keeping it nice and tight the whole way. So now, because I've moved everything back into the trellis, right? The peas are going to be, they do the same thing with beans, but the peas are going to be much more inclined to grab onto the trellis as opposed to the other plants, right? And the great thing about using this jute is it's biodegradable. It's super cheap, right? At the end of the year, you just cut it off and let it fall, and it'll just rot. You know, it's all natural, right? Anyway, it's around 6 a.m. and mosquitoes are already starting to swarm. But this is not the worst of it, because in another couple hours, the horse flies and deer flies will be around. So I got a few more things to do in the garden. But this is all done. These peas are starting to form, but they're not quite ready yet. These are, since I'm making a video about peas, these are what they call super sugar snap peas. And they're not like snow peas, right? Snow peas, you have to pick them when they're flat. These ones here, they're much better to pick when they're fat. So if I were to, they taste good like this, but you get much more out of them. They just never get, they don't get a spine, they don't get woody, right? They just get bigger and fatter and juicier. Right? There's a point where they're too mature, right? But I wait till they're at least, you look at the, I think it's proper light here. Look at the diameter of, or the thickness of that, right? I like to almost pick them when they're as wide as they are top to bottom, right? So that wide both ways, right? They're almost like fully formed peas in the center, but very watery, very juicy, very good, right? So, yeah, hardly any of these are really at that stage yet. So it's going to be just a couple more days before we can start harvesting the peas, which is perfect because my spinach is just about finished. And it's nice to have a nice early thing like peas to include in our meals. Anyway, just a little tip on maintaining a trellis where peas are concerned. If you've ever found that the peas just don't behave, they don't do what, look, I built a trellis, why aren't you climbing the trellis the way I want? Well, you give them a little encouragement like this. That's all you got to do. Not a big deal, only takes a couple minutes, and then basically problem solved until they grow another, every 2 feet or so you got to do this, right? Until you can't reach them anymore. Right? So I hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.